I got this top at a clothing swap the other day and absolutely love it. It's not something I would normally pick up at a store, so I'm so glad that I went, and I'm going to talk about clothing swaps today. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, work from home buddies. I'm Monique, the work from home mogul, and I am a small business owner, subscription box business owner, thrifter, violin and yoga teacher, Poshmark ambassador, make money online, make money from apps, and that's what I talk about on this channel. So if you are a thrifter, if you like Poshmark, if you just have clothes that you don't use and want to exchange fiscally and environmentally responsibly and sustainably, you should know about clothing swaps. So that's what I'm going to talk about. And my special guest is a no-show today. Oh, everyone just calls me Sweetie Pie, darling. Well, stick around to hear some tips from me about clothing swaps and our special guest as well. And don't go anywhere. What is a clothing swap, you may ask? Well, a clothing swap or a clothing exchange is when a small group or big group comes together with a designated amount of items to simply swap for another from another person. It could be a lot of items, it could be specific categories, it could be really structured, or it could be just show up with bags of stuff. Sometimes whoever's hosting will donate leftovers somewhere, or it could be a one-to-one exchange where you have to leave with your items because don't nobody have time to be just collecting and hoarding stuff and figuring out what to do with it later. Props to those people. Now, I've been to a few in the past, but recently have been getting really into it. The first clothing swap that I went to was in 2012 or 2013, and it was at someone's house. We didn't know if we would fit into each other's stuff, but I remember getting some accessories. I remember there was a pair of shoes there that fit me. This was pre-selling on Poshmark, so at that point I had stuff that I didn't know that I could sell. And then a few years later, I went to a clothing swap at a friend's house. It was specifically an afternoon of brunch and clothing swap, and what was so fun about this is each of us got up in front of everyone to describe our item, a backstory about it, and basically pitching it to these people and seeing who wanted it, and had a little fashion show later. So that was so cute. The public clothing swaps that I've been going to recently have not been as intimate. It's been at either a venue, restaurant, bar, actual boutique or store, or in a building, clubhouse, pool table area. Things laid out on a table with no particular organization, or just up on racks wherever you can find a space, and just kind of shift through and see what you'd like. I've been at some that are after work happy hour. I've been to some that are like midnight markets at a club in the middle of the night. And so it's interesting the variety of things you can find that you would never think to wear, because you're there with a certain amount of items. Some of it, it's a one-to-one exchange. Sometimes it's like bring one item, leave with as many as you want. They're not all going to be the same, and some structures you may like better than others, so you can try them out and see what works for you. You can find them on Facebook by simply doing a search, Eventbrite, whatever event marketplaces that you go to. I'm also in some group chats with people that like to do clothing exchanges as well as thrifting, and some events around that, especially vendor events, are shared often. Sometimes people want to collaborate and do a clothing exchange. Some of these places do it regularly, once a month. Sometimes it's just out of the blue. Depending on where you're located, you can find something at least every month or more. The type of items you want to bring to a clothing swap is something that you would pick up if you didn't have it already. Stuff that you can wear right from getting it, so no stains or holes or anything that you couldn't sell for at least a few bucks. or wear later with no issues. And oftentimes, as a Poshmark ambassador, I'll take the items that haven't sold, but that are in good enough condition to sell. So clothing swaps are really good for you if you're a reseller and there's inventory you have that has not moved for a year or more. That should be going. If it's got tags on it, yeah, we would love to be able to sell it, but sometimes it just won't sell. So you could exchange it for something that will, or that you would actually use. If you're a thrifter and sometimes you just pick up things not knowing if it's gonna fit and then it doesn't. I know I just like buying stuff when it's on sale. So I've gone to clothing swaps with different capri shorts or belly tops and things that I'm not gonna wear that still have the tags on them that I just bought to get my consumerism fix. Go to a clothing swap, take these things and exchange them for something that you will actually wear or sell. And you can host a clothing swap too. I think some of the reasons people are not that excited about hosting a clothing swap is they know not everyone is the same size. I'm not very invested in the outcome, like hoping that I'm gonna exchange a bunch of stuff unless I see someone my exact size roll in which at that point I go right over to the person and try to swap with them one-on-one. You never know. There have been some extra large things that I picked up that I was able to repurpose and upcycle into something that I would wear or just sell it later. You can have a theme if you want it to be just accessories. Maybe if it's around Halloween season and you want to do something costume swappy, have an event that will benefit people in a season where maybe they don't want to go out and buy brand new things. So what do you need? You need a venue. If it's good weather, it could be outside. I've gone to a few that were outside and some of them were too hot, but if it's just people coming for, 5-10 minutes or so to do their swap, come and go, and there is a place to come in and out of, that's cool. Any place that has some tables just to lay tops on, if you've got some rolling racks and some hangers to hang things, fine. If not, it's cool to just put things on a table. Or if it's a smaller group, each person can come up and explain each item, then you don't need rolling racks at all. Snacks, drinks, a table of glitter, stickers, or anything to cut t-shirts or tie-dye. There's so many ways you could be creative about it. But honestly, you just have a window, I would say no more than 2 hours, where people can come and just exchange. Some people have a ticketing system where each clothing gets them a ticket, which then they could somehow exchange for the other item. I know there's book exchanges out there as well that do something similar. Visit a few first and get an idea what's your flavor. Unless this thing is every single week, it's going to be something new and exciting that people will want to go to if they know about it, which means just blast it on your personal messages, social media. If you put it on Facebook and Eventbrite, some randos will see it, and you have more of a chance of it getting forwarded when you put it in group chats and ask people to forward it. A raffle, giveaways, if you can have a sponsor of something, karaoke, or board games. So what do you like? If you're the one hosting it and if you're going to be bored just standing there while people swap, then maybe you want to have something fun that you like doing going on at the same time, and that could entice people with similar interests, which overall just makes for a better time. Now let's hear from our special guest, Awana Nunu. You could just call me Sweetie Pie. So what is your take on exchanging things if it's only been worn like one time? I mean, it seemed really kind of barbaric to me in the beginning, but it's just so great to see people out there just making means and making a living. Okay, Awana, so does everything have to be new? I wouldn't be caught dead in last season's item, because really, am I ever going to wear these things again after being photographed in them? I think not. Do you care about the environment and all the resources needed to make all of the clothes that has an impact on limited resources? I mean, I don't really care, because did I even pay for these things? Not at all. I don't even really care what I get for them. Is this something that you would recommend to a friend? Or would you consider this in the future. I know that I'm not going to use them again and it's going to go somewhere where someone would be seen in it. Very interesting. There's some things that just can't go to the unfortunate, unfortunately. Well, okay, thank you for that. Thank you, Work From Home Buddies, for being here today. You've got this far. Like and share with a friend. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell for notifications and watch this video next. Bye. If you're a thrifter and sometimes you just pick up things not knowing if it's gonna fit and then it doesn't,